Welcome back in this Kubernetes series. The next topic which we learn is Kubernetes Namespace. In Kubernetes, namespace provide a mechanism by which you can isolate group of resources within a single cluster. Or imagine you are in a large office building and there are multiple departments. Each department has its own workspace. Although they are the part of the same building, but they function independently. Same rule apply for the namespace. Another example, let's suppose you have a single hardware on which you have deployed two machines. These two machines are completely isolated from each other, but they are on the same underlying hardware. In namespace, there is one important point which we need to be remember. Names of the resources need to be unique within a namespace, but not across the namespace. So what I mean here is, let's suppose if I created two namespace. The first namespace name is delta-dev and another namespace name is delta-prod. Now, I'm in delta-dev namespace and I have created one of the resource with the name delta-dev-nginx service. Now I cannot create another service with the same name. But if I go to the next namespace, that is delta-prod, I can create the same name service over there because these two namespaces are completely isolated from each other. So we can do that. Let's go and see the demo how to create the namespace, how to delete the namespace, how to create resources in the namespace. Let's start with the demo. So the first command which I'm going to run, that is the kubectl get namespace. So these are the default namespace. I'm not going to cover in detail what exactly these namespace all about. I'm going to create a separate video and then I'm going to explain each of this default namespace. You can also use a shortcut command kubectl get ns and you will get the same result. Okay, let's create a namespace. So the command to create a namespace is kubectl create namespace or ns, whatever you are comfortable with. Then we need to give the name. So in my case, I'm going to give the name like delta-dev. So my namespace is created. Let me create one more namespace and this time delta-prod. This is also created. Now let me go with the same command kubectl get ns. Here I can see two of the namespace are created. One is with delta-dev and the other one is with the delta-prod. Okay. Now let me create a resource. Kubectl run. Then we need to provide the name of the service which we are creating. So in my case, I'm creating a pod. So let me give the name of the pod. And the pod is going to be Apache pod. And then we need to provide the image from where this thing is coming. So this is coming from my Docker Hub. And this is the login ID for the or user ID for the Docker Hub, Apache. And the tag which I'm going to use is file. Then the namespace. And here in the namespace, we need to provide the namespace name. So delta. So my pod is created. Let me rerun the previous command, and this time what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to change the name of the pod. Okay. And I'm going to create this thing in the different namespace. And delta-prod. I'm able to create it without any issue. But if I try to do that, let's suppose this time I have changed the tag of this. Name is still the same. And this is the namespace. If I try to create, see, I'm getting the error message. Apache pod already exists. But when I created the Apache pod in different namespaces, I was not getting the error message. So that means you can use the similar name in different namespaces, but not within the namespace. Okay, now let me go with kubectl get pod. Now here I am getting the message, no resources found in the default namespace. So in the default namespace, we have not created this thing, and we have created this inside this namespace. So what I need to do is I need to provide the namespace name here. Namespace delta dash dev. Yes, I'm getting. Yes, I'm getting this thing. So with the namespace, I'm getting the result for my pod. And if we need more information related to the pod, we can go with -o wide option. That's it. Now, let's suppose if I need to create the namespace with the help of the YAML file. Right now, we have created the namespace with the help of the command. This time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the namespace with the help of the YAML file. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create nano. You can use VI, whatever you are comfortable with, nano, and the name I'm going to give namespace.yaml. Now here, API version is going to be v1, kind is going to be namespace. The data inside the metadata, we need to provide the name and other information. So give to space name, and here I'm going to provide the name delta dash UAT. That's it. Let me save this thing and let me apply this thing. kubectl apply -f, and then we need to provide the name of the file. In my case, the name of the file is namespace.yaml. So namespace delta UAT is created. Let's verify. kubectl get ns. Yes, this one is created. And let me get the content of the namespace.yaml. So here we have the API version, kind, metadata, and the name. Now you can use this YAML file, just you need to update this thing here, and you can create a number of namespaces. The next thing is I need to create my pod with the help of the YAML file using the namespace as well. So how we can do that? So for that, let me create one file nano, and this time pod dash namespace.yaml. What we are going to do is let me API version and save this thing, and let me get the content of pod dash, not pod dash namespace. Let me copy this one, and let me go nano pod.namespace. Let me delete this thing. Okay. Now API version is v1, kind is going to be pod this time. Metadata, again we need to provide the name, so I'm going to provide delta UAT dash pod. This is the name of my pod. Okay, let me correct. And then what we need to do is we need to provide the namespace here. Namespace delta dash UAT. And then we need to provide the specification. And in the specification, we need to provide the container. And then we need to provide the name, whatever the name we want to give. So I'm going to give delta UAT pod. This is the name. And then we need to provide the image from where this image is coming. This image is coming from my Docker Hub. So this is the ones. Okay, we are done. Let's save it. Let's apply it. kubectl apply -f pod.namespace. Yes, it is created. And let me verify this thing. kubectl get pod. Then we need to provide the namespace and delta dash UAT. Yes, we have one delta UAT pod in running state. Let me get the content of the pod dash namespace file. If you see the name delta UAT pod and image is this, you can also verify by going with the command, rather than doing the get, we can use the describe command. See, we have this image. And here we have the namespace information as well. So where is the namespace? Namespace here. And let me give you one more example. kubectl done default Apache -- image, and then we need to provide the image name from where it is coming. Apache then 5. Here I'm not providing the namespace. Now see what will happen. kubectl get pod. It is created in the default namespace. I hope namespace is clear to you. Thank you.